Now, we will be starting the process of learning the facial massage types, and then we will have a demonstration. Is everybody comfortable? Timothy, you like a blanket? Yes. We do have one in the back, so we'll get started and you can go ahead and grab that for you, okay? Perfect. Alright. So, we are on chapter 16, facial massage. Alright, so the types of massage movements. We have effleurage, which is a soft, continuous stroking movement applied with the fingers and palms in a slow and rhythmic manner. Okay, so that is just the fluid movements. Alright, so very, very gentle. That is the basic type of massage that you're probably used to receiving when you get a Swedish massage. Okay? Alright. Next we have petrissage. And petrissage is the kneading movement that stimulates the underlying tissues, filling a form of petrissage in which the tissue is grasped, gently lifted, and spread out. So, you may think of petrissage. Let me just mark my place here. You may think of petrissage as a type of pinch, a very gentle pinch. You would not want to pinch too hard, okay? Alright, and that's how I always remember petrissage, is with P with pinch and P with petrissage. Are there any questions for that? Timothy, yes, you may use the restroom. You don't have to ask for that, okay? Perfect, alright. Moving right along. Okay. Now, we're on friction, okay? So, friction. Friction is a rubbing movement. Pressure is maintained on the skin while the fingers or palms are moved over the underlying structures. Okay, so this one is different. Now, friction is more like this, okay? So we have effleurage, petrissage, and friction. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay. We'll move along now. Alright. interesting name, and that is to grasp the flesh firmly in one hand and move the hand up and down along the bone, while the other hand keeps the arm in a steady position. Now we won't be using that too much because we're going to be doing facial massages, but if you like to learn that technique, that's more for deep tissue work, which perhaps further along in the semester we may need that. Okay. Where was I? Now we will be using tapotement, which is essentially, it's also known as percussion. It consists of fast tapping, patting, and hacking movements. Right, so when we're talking about the face massages, tapotement is like this. And very easy to remember because it's like tapping. Alright? Very easy to remember tapotement. Okay, we will now begin the demonstration portion of our massage, and we would like to thank Jonas, that is their name, and they are volunteering. Now of course it is just a prop head, but we would like to give them a name. Okay? So we're going to start with effleurage, which is just the longer movements of the hands with the massage. Okay? So, as you can see with Jonas, we just do the effleurage. Very, very relaxing. Very, very comforting to Jonas. Okay. Alright. So, that was effleurage. Now we will do the petrissage. And you can even go around under the chin and do little pinch movements. And this is very, very comforting. You see how Jonas just really enjoys this. Okay, so we just do the petrissage with a nice pinching movements. Okay, then we're going to do, we did effleurage, we did petrissage, we're doing friction. Okay, so this is more of a rubbing. see, we just very gently rub right here. Along the face, upper lip, chin, cheeks, forehead, temples. Okay, now we're going to do development, which is my personal favorite. And that's the tapping massage. I just go around with some gentle tapping. We kind of just gently tap the skin, just really gently. Just tap it in, give it a little tappy. Tap, tap, taparoo. Just give it a little tappy. Okay, so do we understand the difference between a fleurage, bed massage, friction, and development? Good. Okay, that's relatively simple. Let's begin our lesson on chemical peels. This is very interesting. I know you've wanted to learn this for quite a while, and you've been waiting to get more into depth on this, especially since we had our long break. So let me find our lesson. Okay, so pull out your worksheets, please. I want you to fill in the blanks with these notes. As you can see, I've made quite a lot of notes for you today. So, I'm just going to be reading for you for a while. And you can just fill in the blanks, alright? So, we're first going So first we're going to be talking about chemical peels. We already said that. So first we're going to be talking about glycolic acid pills. And glycolic acid pills are derived from sugar cane. The molecular size is 2. It's anti-aging and helps with scarring. And now we are going to talk about tartaric acid. And this is made from grapes. its molecular size is 5. This helps mainly with pigmentation. Okay, and then we have mandelic acid. That is made with almonds, and it's often a filler acid. It does not have a lot of exfoliation properties or brightening. Now, we have kojic acid. That is derived from mushrooms, and it helps with pigmentation. We also have L-ascorbic acid. It is a citrus. It does brighten, it lightens, it lightens, and it hydrates. We have also malic acid, derived from apples and pears. It's a filler acid. It provides a gentle exfoliation and very little to initiation. Now, lactic acid is what we will be using today. Now, it is said that Cleopatra used to bathe in sour milk, and she did this to help the aging of her skin. So this lactic acid, which is derived from milk, is a form of this, and it helps with pigmentation, and it is the most hydrating of all the pills. It can also help with scarring. So we'll be doing a demonstration of the lactic acid chemical peel. If you are ready, let's prepare our materials. We'll start by putting on our PPE, which is our gloves for personal protective equipment. So I want all of you, after I'm done with the demonstration, you will need to put gloves on before you practice on your own demonstration models. Okay? So we have put on our PPE. Then we have our cotton round. This is for degreasing the skin. We always want to make sure the skin is free of excess oil and dead skin cells, so that the skin, the peel, can penetrate properly. Okay? Perfect. Right. Now I have also my gauze, which in order to preserve ingredients, I want to cut this in half. So I don't want to waste supplies. So I'm going to cut this one. And I'll be asking that you cut yours in half as well, so I want to preserve the materials here at our spa school, okay? Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Oh yes, Timothy, may I help you? No, you may not. Practice a peel on Sarah while she's sleeping. Let her rest. She's probably tired, and that's why she's asleep. Okay? You can practice on your demonstration head when I'm finished. Okay. Thank you. Alright, then we have our protective equipment for our model. We always want to make sure that we protect the eyes from the peel. Now, if there is a frosting of the skin, you want to make sure you remove it immediately and use water and ice. We'll also be using that to neutralize the peel. But frosting is when the skin turns white. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between frosting and just general penetration, but you'll know because frosting is white, and that means that the peel has gone to excess. So we always want to remove it. The frost, if you leave it on longer, can be quite damaging to the layers of the skin. Okay? Alright. So we've got that. So the greasing fluid is what we use to clean the face first. For the peel, we've got that. We have our bowl with a clean rag, which we'll be using. We usually use some ice to help cool the peel. As after it's done, now we're only going to leave this peel on for approximately 1 minute. We don't want to go any longer, and if we do again see any frosting, we'll remove it sooner. Okay. Alright, so I've got my degreasing fluid. And of course, this is just water for the sake of practice. But when we're doing real chemical peels, will it be actual degreasing fluid? Okay. And then we have our peel, which will also be water for practice. But doing a real peel, it will be a lactic acid peel or whatever peel you will be working with. Okay? So those are our ingredients. And then we also have our little bowl that we put the peel in, and we don't want to put too much of it in there. So we only need to just fill the bottom layer there, just right to here. So not too much, okay? And we'll demonstrate how much to put in, so you'll know. Okay, shall we begin? Alright. Let me go ahead and put the protective eyewear on Jonas. So just like so. a greasing fluid. We'll do 2 cotton rounds of spritzing. And I'm just going to remove those protective wear, but we'll pretend they're on. Okay, so you want to do this in one fluid motion as much as possible. So we just go around the face and just degrease like that. Get the lip. Okay. Greasing complete. Now I'm going to use some occlusion, and that helps so that this peel doesn't get in the sensitive areas around the lips or the nose, even around the eyes, even though she has protection around the eyes. So this is our occlusive gel. Let me just apply that around her areas around her lips, nose, and eyes. So you can see where I've applied that. Just very gently around those areas. And again, she should be wearing the protective eyewear, okay? Good. Perfect. Okay, we will now prepare the peel. And we just put a little bit in this. Okay, now I'm going to prepare the ice and the water so that we can cool her skin down. We use a nice little bowl. So we pour the ice in. We just shake it up like that. Then we go ahead and pour the water in. We just shake it up a little. Okay. Let's get our rag. skinner rag ready to place it in the cold water to neutralize the peel for Jonas's face. Peel here, and I just dip this little gauze in here. Okay, I know these gloves are a little big, but they are size small, so unfortunately. Just do this in the simplest amount of strokes we can, okay? So, just going around the face, under the eyes, under the chin, cheeks, around there, nose, upper lip. If we missed any spots, we do that, okay? Then because we're just going to be removing it with our rag, okay? I'm going to set the timer. We have set the timer, my friends, my lovely, lovely learners. And the timer is going. We just wait, okay? So we just are ready to remove that peel. Alright, as you can see, there's no frosting, which is nice, but Jonas is ready to remove their peel. So I just want to pat, 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 pat it off, and okay, and you always ask how they're feeling. Now, how are you feeling, Jonas? And they say they're feeling great. Alright. Pat, 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 pat. Alright, now you can slowly begin to remove, since the skin is cool. And what you want to do is keep removing until the skin is cool. Okay? So, you always want to ask, so Jonas, how's your skin? Is that feeling cool? And they say, no, still some heat. You can also touch their skin. And you can, if you still feel the heat, you want to keep applying that gold. And you just dip it back in. Oh, without my gloves, it's a bit cold. Okay. So I just go ahead and do that. And then, now Jonas, is your skin cool? And then we feel it. Feels cool. And they have said it is cool. So now it's sometimes you may also need a fan to get the skin cool. But as of right now, you will not be needing that because the skin feels very cool. So, you may now start the treatment on your own. Model heads, and go ahead and pass your practice solutions on down to you. And when you're finished, you may come up and get your grade. Now, I'm very confident that all of you will pass this class because you are such good students. You always listen and are very curious. Even you, Timothy. So, go ahead and do that, and then our next lesson